What is up, team? My name is Andie, and today we are back with another chai talk. So I've got a half full, not even half, cup of coffee here. But yeah, today I just thought we would talk about this whole realm of success and failure. Yeah, so lately I've just been struggling to find motivation. I guess I had so much at the beginning, so when I compare myself back to the beginning of quarantine, I do kind of feel like a little bit of a failure, you know what I mean? Which is so exaggerated, but just kind of where I'm not achieving as much as I know I could be. So I thought this would be a relevant topic in case there is someone out there who's, you know, on either side of the spectrum. So if you don't know what chai talks are, basically we just get a nice warm or cold drink and we just sit down. I answer a couple questions that, you know, make you think and hopefully help you out a little bit. You feel less stressed or whatever. But yeah, I'd love to hear your answers in the comment below as well. Ooh, that is so good. So the first one is, what accomplishment are you most proud of? Well, it's interesting because sometimes the smallest thing can be seen as the biggest accomplishment. A recent accomplishment was definitely on my first placement when I was independently taking care of my ward. Being able to see someone who was in so much pain and unable to walk, and you just helping them relearn how to walk, how to weight bear, how to use certain equipment, and then in the end seeing them go home. Honestly, something that I didn't realize would impact me as much as it did. And for those who are going into physio, you kind of know that physio is going to be such a rewarding job, but you don't realize it until it actually happens. You know, obviously you can also see even getting into university, making it this far in university is a huge accomplishment. It's hard because selflessly, that one-end placement was right up there. And I'm sure there are so many others that I'm just forgetting right now, but I'm excited for those who are about to go on placement. And a selfish one, like a personal one, I don't know if this counts, but maybe being caring, because I know I care for people and I know I help people through tough times. I'm there for them and they come to me if they ever want to talk about anything. And I think for me, I'm proud of that because I know that people can rely on me to get them through tough times. And I also think it's okay for you to give yourself a positive trait. And sometimes people are like that's a bit condescending or arrogant or whatever, but you have to build yourself up, you know? A lot of people forget to compliment themselves. And I found that when you have those positive thoughts and you bring yourself up, you just feel so much better about yourself because it's so easy to get in that deep hole of not giving yourself that recognition, because there are positive things about you, regardless if you see it or not. And so I think that's so important. So I think I'm a caring person, and hopefully other people think that too. So that's probably something personally that I feel like is a accomplishment and that I'm proud of, that I've kind of grown into. Have you ever failed, and what specifically happened? All of these questions are so deep because you can either see it as failed, have you lost a game, or have you ever felt like a complete failure, or have you just literally failed an exam or something. Literally, I don't think I've failed a test before. Not like a full-on literal summative exam. For sure quizzes, because quizzes are for you to learn. They don't count. I think I'm a competitive person and I'm very, very tough on myself. So being an athlete, I know that I definitely felt like a failure when I lost a game because I felt like I was letting the team down. And that's one of the things that unfortunately drew me away from tennis. For those who don't know, tennis was a huge part of my life in Australia. I played competitively. I played basically every single day, and then when I moved to Abu Dhabi I actually stopped, and the reasons that I gave as to why I stopped was just because the access to tennis and coaches and all of that was there was no comparison to Australia. Just simply wasn't as big in Abu Dhabi, so that's where I kind of transitioned from tennis to volleyball. But I think it also gave me so much stress, and that was probably the sport that made me feel most like a failure. It's just not a good place to put yourself in, because there's gonna be one side that wins and one side that loses. You should never take a loss that hard just because like both teams can't win. Like, I'm sorry, but they can't. So I just took it way too hard. And usually the way that I deal with it sport-wise was just, I need to work harder and and I just kept building this pressure on myself. I mean, look at me now. I'm not playing tennis anymore, and now I still am invested. Like, I still look into the news, I still watch Wimbledon and all the different tournaments, but obviously it's not the same. And sometimes it is sad looking back, because obviously I spent so long playing it. But I guess for now I just try not to dwell on it, because I mean, I'm happy now, you know, and I look back and there still are a lot of positive memories that I made from tennis, and that whole like period of time of me playing sport was probably why I'm such like a sport enthusiast now. My feeling of failure is usually always connected to this idea of disappointment, disappointing others, disappointing myself. So that's kind of how I function. But I think I've learned that with most things, you learn from it and you grow from it. Even if it's the smallest lesson, there's still a lesson. So yeah, I took a long time on that question, but there you go. What is the next big thing you want to accomplish? You can relate this question to so many things. Personally, obviously, because I'm still a smaller YouTuber on here, I'd love to grow this community, because when it comes to videos like these, the comment sections would just be so interesting. I'd love to interact with you guys. To any of these questions, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to have a conversation with you. If you even have any questions below or any topics you want me to talk about, I'd love to do it. But the next big thing here is obviously to grow my YouTube community, because I think right now we're at 137 subscribers, which actually is a huge accomplishment too, because I remember being at like 40 subscribers and, you know, just thinking I'd never get to 100, so that's pretty cool. Another accomplishment is, I guess, to be able to put my best foot forward into third year. I'm sure for all you students who are also in the same boat, our third year is going to be pretty hectic, because Corona just decided to come around and just screw everything up and just make third year so incredibly complicated. But you know what? We're in this together. We're gonna make it through. We're gonna have to push a little bit harder, but you gotta do what you gotta do. We can't do anything about it. Like, personally, I hope to become more body confident. I'm happy with who I am and the type of person I am, but right now I still have my health goals. I'm still, you know, trying to find out how to be confident on the outside, and that's a journey. It's inevitable for it to kind of go like this, but I'm okay with that as long as it's kind of slowly, you know, increasing. Then that's gonna be an accomplishment regardless. How can failure impact success? I think sometimes failure can have a larger toll on you than success. And this can be something like you having a certain goal and you don't necessarily reach it, but you're damn close, right? And you can feel this failure of your inability to reach your goal. However, let me think of an example. Because I suspect that many of you are probably students, let's give an example kind of about school or uni or whatever. Let's say you're aiming for a first or an equivalent to an A, and you get a B+ or a 2-1, and you might feel like a failure because, you know, you didn't achieve what you were aiming for. But you passed the exam, you still did damn well. It's hard because sometimes you have to realize that some people don't even have the opportunity to put themselves in your position. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's where like a small, like the sense of failure can overpower the success that you actually got. And that can be really tough because some people aren't even able to see the success side of it and they just dwell on the failure. But I know when my friends go through that, I try to remind them of what they have accomplished, what they do have. If you have another shot, then use that as like huge motivation to get the goal that you were originally striving for. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's hard because I'm a person who tries to see the positive side and the learning curve. And sometimes there isn't, sometimes it's just straight up. But for me, I try not to dwell on the negative because I just remind myself that a lot of people aren't even able to be here. We're getting super deep, but I remind myself that I'm still here. I still get up every morning, and some people aren't given that opportunity. Honestly, this video was here to help me and remind me, but I hope this also pushes some of you guys to really live your life and remind you of the things that you need to appreciate, the things that you want in life, the things, you know, if you need to work harder, then work harder, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The last question is quite interesting because in my opinion, I actually think the answer is actually kind of the same. After success versus after failure. So I'm interpreting this question as, what do you do after? How do you feel after? And I think with both of them, there should be stride. That means if you succeed in something, you don't stop there. If you fail in something, you shouldn't back down. That there's always a step forward after that. You know, there's always a way to improve. This is kind of repetitive, but if you fail once, why did you fail? You need that kind of reflection side of things. That's something that's actually ingrained into us, especially in second year, because that's obviously when we start placements and stuff, but this whole sense of reflection. So you did this treatment for a patient, right? How did it go? If you were to get a patient of the same condition with the same symptoms and clinical features, would you use that same exercise or would you choose another one? Why not? So I think reflection in relation to both is super, super important. And that's in helping both your personal self. Also, if it's related to physio, then make yourself a better physiotherapist. If it's maybe a success or failure of something that happened with your friends, it'll be something to make you a better friend, to learn from it. I don't think you can ever reach perfect, and you shouldn't be aiming for perfect. That is not realistic, but it's also important to put your best self out there and to grow. That is good stuff. But yeah, I really enjoy these talks because I think it's important to talk realistically and deep and in a way where you can open your emotions. This is why I would very highly appreciate you guys leaving a comment down below, because I still need to grow as a person. I still have so many things to learn. Whether you're 20 like me, whether you're 15, whether you're 52, like, it's amazing to learn from other people. But yeah, I am telling you, leave a comment down below, your answers, whatever you want, your questions. Let's just create this community, and yeah, I'm super excited. But yeah, that's a wrap on episode 4. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye. I hit my elbow.